Hello everyone, I'm Andy Pruitt, Director of Communications for Charleston County School District. For the past few months, EL Curriculum, the district's English Language Arts curriculum for kindergarten through 8th grade, has been a major topic of conversation, discussion, and confusion. In this important edition of the Stories of CCSD, we will provide the reasons for EL adoption in our district, how it was implemented at the school level, challenges our educators faced, concerns from teachers and parents, and its impact on student outcomes.
First of all, EL Education is the name of the company that produces the curriculum. EL used to stand for Expeditionary Learning, but the organization only goes by EL now. Secondly, the EL curriculum is a state-approved option for reading and writing, which was introduced to the district through the Palmetto Literacy Project and adopted by our acceleration schools, a learning community dedicated to making rapid gains in student outcomes. Acceleration schools, including North Charleston Elementary, began using EL at the start of the 2021-2022 school year.
Knowing that the EL curriculum had a positive track record, the top-rated curriculums by Ed Reports was very reassuring to me. And then being able to review it next to the other options and seeing how robust and aligned, comprehensive, everything was in that curriculum that we needed.
At roughly the same time, a group of 30 to 40 staff members at both the school and district level reviewed English Language Arts curricula. It had been over a decade since the district adopted a uniform ELA curriculum. Following extensive research for several months and initial positive results in the acceleration schools community, the task force moved forward with recommending EL.
We had the benefit of learning firsthand information from the acceleration schools, how the implementation was going, where were the challenges, and where were the benefits. So between the task force making the decision, the firsthand information we were able to glean from the acceleration cohort piloting the program, we came about what we believe to be a solid decision to adopt and embrace EL as our curriculum of choice.
10 additional CCSD elementary schools piloted the program in January of 2022, and even though the district was only looking for 15 more to start 2022-2023, 33 elementary and middle schools signed on. That large number, coupled with the fact that implementing a new curriculum is hard work, led to challenges.
The experience that some of our educators shared is that they did not feel like they had enough time necessarily to unpack, absorb. Anything new is going to be a challenge because teachers have to first learn it before they can be expected to teach it.
At Carolina Park Elementary, a few grades started it last year, then everyone picked it up this year. Literacy coach Emily Daniel saw her teachers struggling at first, but it wasn't about a lack of support there. It was more about not having the reason explained clearly.
We had rollouts of like what it is, but not really getting too deep into what the lessons are. So I think there was some frustration with teachers saying, I still don't know what we're teaching. I don't know what it looks like. So I wish there was a way we could have seen the bigger picture.
North Charleston Elementary kindergarten teacher Martha Brown had hurdles to overcome as well. She felt she lost her ability to be creative.
I felt that way in the beginning. I did felt that it's kind of stripped away my teacher personality. But like I said, once I got into my flow, I was able to still teach the way how I teach and still teach that content the way how it needed to be taught. So over time, I felt that EL didn't script that opportunity away.
It's intimidating to see how many books and materials are included and to just have those and trying to navigate. But thankfully we had the team that helped us navigate through that and provide support while we were learning it.
Eventually, training, support, and experience paid off. Brown and teachers throughout the district were connecting with their students.
I kind of went backwards. I looked more, instead of me looking at the content first, I went back and looked at, okay, what are our assessments? What exactly do these kids need to know in order for me to get them where they need to be? So when it's time to take these assessments, when it's time for them to collaborate with each other, ask and answer questions, protocols, what steps do I need to take in order to get them there?
In fact, North Charleston Elementary became an example for the staff at Sullivan's Island Elementary as they signed on to pilot EL.
Our lead teacher and instructional coach and I visited North Charleston Elementary. We had a great visit. We talked with the principal, we sat in on team planning, we went into classrooms and observed.
I was super excited about it and was looking for something that kind of reflected what I was already doing, but just took it to the next level. So I was the first to say, I'm on, let's do it, let me give it a go.
This was proof educators could collaborate with their colleagues throughout the district, not just in their own building, and their work connects with grades above and below them.
For example, when we were doing our research about the rainforest, third grade was doing research about different frogs found in the rainforest. So this idea of building upon what you've done in third grade, and then I noticed fourth grade does another, they have to pick an animal to research. It's beautiful the way it sort of builds upon.
I'll speak for my kindergarten team. When it comes to that, when we're doing our meetings, I noticed that we'll take those assessments that the kids are taking and we pick through it. We'll be like, well, what worked for you? What didn't work for you? Or as a whole, if something was great, okay, let's keep it. Let's help the other person to see if that person can get where they need to be.
While many teachers and administrators are growing comfortable with EL, there are still concerns to address. For example, is EL developmentally appropriate, especially for our youngest learners?
There's a shift to science of reading, and that's kind of a shift in mindset for a lot of our teachers. The modules are teaching comprehension standards, and skills block in kindergarten through second grade teaches the foundational of reading standards. So that's where, when we have that 1 hour a day for skills block, we're teaching those children how to read. And then the modules is teaching them the comprehension strategies to remember what they've read.
Another issue, does it limit teacher creativity?
As far as like doing your own thing, teachers are going to have to kind of let go of some of the old things that they have done in the past. Not that old was bad, but there are little pockets of places where I can make adjustments and to fit the needs of my class the best.
And maybe the biggest complaint, controversial material, specifically when it has to deal with race. Currently, in the spring of 2023, fifth graders are learning about Jackie Robinson, who broke Major League Baseball's color barrier.
I'm teaching it right now, and nothing has occurred that I think would be upsetting, or kids have had great questions and have had good discussions so far. If I just follow with what each lesson and the way it's presented in a way that is clear and fair, neutral. It just presents the historical information in a way that kids can then take that information and maybe craft their own opinions or ideas about things.
Some parents were saying this is a critical race theory curriculum. And so I mentioned that I had a slideshow. I started off with just going through the history of the EL organization and how it was founded and what the intent of it was, and that it definitely was not a critical race theory curriculum, that we weren't teaching that.
When we started with human rights last year, that just the title of the module in general kind of raised some awareness to community members. And when we were sharing what it is and what we're teaching during that unit, then they had an understanding, and it was okay because there's not an agenda pushed.
Fortunately, students are responding positively. One example is increased engagement and participation.
But what did you guys decide? Why did you think? Because you thought about the mother's perspective and her point of view. Why would she have put bars on the window?
Questions that EL provides are like perfect for getting kids to really think about the text before they talk. So when I'll say, turn and talk to your elbow partner about blank. And then as they're talking, I'm wandering around the room and listening to their conversations. Everyone is on topic. Everyone is talking about the text.
Since they know the content, they're able to speak to each other more versus just standing there, or let's start talking about things that doesn't even have anything to do with the curriculum. And then that leaves room for me to, when I am listening to them, okay, what do I need to do in order to add on to that? And it's taken away less talking for me and giving them the floor.
A reason for that increased engagement? More of our students see themselves and their cultures represented in what they are reading.
I feel that every student deserves the opportunity to see themselves in the books that we read. And EL definitely has a wide range of culture, race. The authors are multi-represented, and that is essential.
Another bonus with a system-wide curriculum, if a student changes schools in the district, they won't be behind because the lessons are similar.
And it is fantastic to see when a 4th grade student moves to our school from another school in Charleston County, and as we're talking about animal defenses, they're, oh, we learned that last week, or we're talking about that right now.
All those factors are contributing to statistical gains. Of the 40 elementary schools implementing EL so far, 33 showed high growth based on preliminary data from the Spring iReady reading assessment.
I'm not suggesting that every single school implementing EL has seen the exact same rate of growth, but it has been marked improvement in terms of our scholars meeting their growth targets and trending in the right direction. For us, that's half the battle. When we have a solution, it's not just the curriculum, and I want to be fair about that. It's not the curriculum, it's the strategies, it's the instructional design, it's the classroom teacher. All of those things make an impact with student outcomes.
District leaders admit there is more work to do. They will continue to work with our teachers to provide support and be available to our families to address questions and concerns. However, CCSD is moving forward with the EL curriculum for reading and writing.
We're at a place now that we have a little bit more open-mindedness about the EL curriculum because they're understanding the why it's important to have a consistent curriculum throughout.
I just trust a program where I can really see that their focus and goal is to improve reading for students, so that we have a population of people out there in the world who can back what they're saying with real evidence.
Be patient and give it that time. Continue when we send those letters home, to say this is what we're working on. Ask your kids those questions. Engage with them. Engage with your teacher, so that your child's not only getting it at school, but they're getting it at home.
If there's no curriculum, because if there's no curriculum and I'm trying to teach at a very high level, I'm constantly looking for resources. I'm looking at it through my own lens for the most part, instead of pulling in all of this insight that's been gathered and put into one package.
They're learning to think, to put together in their own words, and then be able to write it down. And it's all built into the structure of EL.
Having a comprehensive, consistent curriculum across the entirety of the system ensures that regardless of where a scholar lands, regardless of the constituent area they happen to be in, they're being exposed to high quality instructional materials. And I feel like that's really important to get at closing the achievement gap that exists, but it's just good overall for all of our schools and our scholars.
We also ask that you visit ccsdschools.com/EL curriculum for additional information, or email ccsdreading@charleston.k12.sc.us. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and hope it was a helpful resource. Thanks for watching the Stories of CCSD. I'm Andy Pruitt.